Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Bobby Valentine Sports Show. I'm your host, Frank Rampin, and we're going to get right into it today. What a week of the sporting world it was. What a week for sports. What a weekend. And honestly, the entire week was great. The World Series was wrapped up. I'm going to get the World Series recap / 2023 MLB season recap. That's going to be out later this week. That's coming out really soon. We had an amazing weekend of football. College football Saturday was amazing. A bunch of unbelievable games. And football NFL Sunday was just as good. So we're going to get into a Week 9 NFL season recap. And we're going to jump in right now with the weekly recap. Alrighty, so like I just said, Week 9, I've been talking about it for the past couple weeks. We are officially halfway through the NFL season. Pretty crazy to think about. That football season kind of, to me, feels like it just started. Already halfway through the NFL season. We're already into double-digit weeks in college football. Crazy stuff's going on. I don't know how time moves that fast right now. It feels crazy. So things are starting to really matter now that we're getting into the nitty-gritty of the season. Next week's going to be Week 10, double-digit week. Like, what? That's crazy. Already into the late nitty-gritty of the NFL season. Unbelievable. And this weekend brought with it some unbelievable games. A lot of crazy stuff happened. This is the first week since the trade deadline, so a couple new faces in different places. We haven't seen the new 49ers faces yet because they were on a bye week, so this could be interesting to see them play next week in Week 10. But this week, a couple new faces, new games, new exciting outcomes. The first one I have to talk about, Minnesota-Atlanta, had one of the more exciting outcomes of the week. Very tough to pick the game of the week this week. Very good games all around the board. Minnesota-Atlanta was one of them. Quarterback, honestly don't remember his name for Minnesota. Rookie quarterback got hurt very early on. And Josh Dobbs, who's been the quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals this whole season, who's been keeping them, they haven't been very good, but he's been all right, comes in and leads them. Unbelievable second half. We'll talk about that a little bit more when we talk about the this season, but unbelievable game from him. He didn't even know the playbook. He got traded on Tuesday. He shows up at the facility. He's not supposed to play. They starting a rookie quarterback. He gets hurt. They're like, all right, Josh, we need you, dude. We have no one else to do it. He doesn't know any of the plays. He didn't run through a single day of walkthroughs with any of the players. He didn't take a snap from the center. He didn't throw a pass to a single wide receiver on the team. He probably didn't know half the plays. He probably just barely knew some of them. Kevin O'Connell said that he was in his headset, basically teaching him how to run the offense mid-game as the play clock is running down. So unbelievable performance by Josh Dobbs. Ended up leading a game-winning drive to win the game in the last minute of the game. We're going to keep going with that. Dallas-Philly, huge NFC East rivalry matchup. That's been talked about all week. Lived up to the hype. The Eagles were able to squeak out a win, 28-23. Very, very good game there. Dallas had a bunch of opportunities, did not capitalize on all of them, but were able to hang around in the end. Had a chance to go in and win the game, just fell short. We'll talk about that a little bit more too. And this last game, this one's going to be our game of the week. Houston versus Tampa Bay. Oh my goodness, what an unbelievable performance we saw in that game from C.J. Stroud and Baker Mayfield for that fact. But C.J. Stroud had a historic performance. We're going to get into that one a little bit more. And before we talk about that, we'll talk about our play of the day. So I'll explain this one a little bit more as we move forward because you'll see that this play of the day comes from our game of the week as well, this Houston Tampa Bay game. This game was filled with unbelievable action, especially in the second half of this ball game. So our play of the day, we're going to pick it up here in the fourth quarter here. Tie ball game, 30-30 ball game here. Don't pay attention to that too much. We're going to go over all that all. But 30-30 ball game, 4th and goal from the 9-yard line here for the Houston Texans. And earlier in this game, Kaimi Fairbairn, their kicker, who's pretty good. He's been a pretty solid kicker throughout his career. He had some sort of groin injury, some sort of lower body injury. He had to leave the game. He actually got hurt while he made a field goal, field goal. So the Texans were going for 2 every time they scored. They really didn't have a kicking option. 4th and goal from the 9-yard line here with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They bring out their backup running back, Dare Agumbawale. Emergency kicker time. Tie ball game here, tied up at 30 with 8 minutes and 48 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Tied up at 30-30. 29-yard attempt. First attempt of the career of Dare Agumbawale. The emergency kicker, backup running back, NFL journeyman, 7th season in the NFL, nails a 29-yard field goal to put the Houston Texans up 33-30. Are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me? Dare Agumbawale steps up for his team and absolutely drills a field goal to put his team up by 3 late in the fourth quarter. And we're going to show the replay here. Look at this So you're going to show they get the snap down. Holder gets it down. Kick is up and through. Maybe not the prettiest kick ever, but I mean, it's damn good. Damn good. Nails it. He trots off the field like he's been there. Look at D'Amico Ryans. Look at his face. He's like, oh my gosh. He can't help but crack a smile. Oh my. And then Baker, the other side of it, just like, what are you going to do? Unbelievable clutch moment by Dare Ogunbowale. Sorry, that was the play of the week, or play of the day. We'll move into the game of the week now, because we'll get back into it. So, we're going to move back here to the beginning of this game. Texans, Buccaneers. This might be the game of the year. So far, game of the week, this might be the game of the year. So, the Bucs start this off with a Chase McLaughlin field goal, 3-0 Tampa Bay to start this off. First possession for the Texans. They move the ball down into the red zone at the 14-yard line here. C.J. Stroud's going to take a shotgun snap, fake a handoff, find Nico Collins on a slant on the left side, who goes in for the first score of the day for the Houston Texans. First touchdown of the day for either side. So, Nico Collins finds the end zone. It was 7-3 now, Houston. Jumping ahead now. To the next Tampa Bay Buccaneers possession. After converting a 4th and 1 inside the 5-yard line of the Houston Texans, second and goal, Baker Mayfield surveys the field, throws left to Cade Otton, who extends across the goal line for a touchdown. His first touchdown of the day for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 10-7 ball game now. Tampa Bay on top by 3. So Houston is not able to do anything on their next possession and ended up punting the ball back to the Buccaneers. And after working the ball all the way down inside the 5-yard line, all the way down to the 1, Baker Mayfield's going to hand one to Rachaad White, who is able to walk into the end zone for another touchdown, making it a 17-10 ball game. 10-point lead here for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Ensuing Houston Texan drive, they move the ball into Tampa Bay territory. 50-yard field goal attempt by Kaimi Fairbairn is good, but this was the field goal that I mentioned before, where he tweaked something in his groin or in his lower body. He would be forced to leave the game. But a 17-10 score now, but the Texans without their kicker. Tough for them. So 17-10 ball game still. As Tampa Bay, Chase McLaughlin makes another field goal, 20-10 now. So, ensuing possession for the Houston Texans. On 1st and 10 here from their own 25, first play of the drive, C.J. Stroud drops back, surveys the field, finds Noah Brown across the middle towards the left sideline, who cuts it up the field and is gone. One man to beat, gives him a stiff arm at the 7-yard line, is in for the score. 20-17 Houston. What a play from Noah Brown. Great decision-making from C.J. Stroud, who was throwing absolute dots across this entire field all day long. And we'll get into more of his stats. Just keep in mind and watch the utter just display that he was able to put on. So, the field goal, or I said 20-17, they were not able to kick that extra point. They went for 2, and C.J. Stroud was picked off in the end zone. So, 2-point conversion, no good, 20-16 ball game. Next, Buccaneer possession. They move the ball into Houston territory, but are unable to move any further. Chase McLaughlin comes out and nails another field goal. 23-16 now. Texans get the ball back after converting a couple nice third downs here. 3rd and 10. C.J. Stroud has the 3rd and 10, or 1st and 10 here, from the 29-yard line going in. Pump fakes, fires one deep to the right corner of the end zone, and it is caught by Tank Dell. What a throw there from C.J. Stroud. Unbelievable pocket presence. Great layer of a throw there as Tank Dell with the double move was able to beat the corner into the end zone. Great throw there. C.J. Stroud looked unbelievably poised in this game. It looked like nothing fazed him. He was just going up and down the field. Nothing mattered to him. Just ... Sitting there like calm and cool in the pocket, just checking down, making beautiful throws all across the field. All right. So Tank Dell scores a TD to make it 23-22. Houston tries to go for 2 again, failed conversion. once again. Tampa Bay, ensuing their possession, they are forced to punt. 3-and-out forced by this Houston defense. Down by 1, heading into the end of the third quarter, Houston gets the ball back. So, Houston driving now, gets the ball all the way into the red zone of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And are unable to convert. So, a 4th down and goal from the 9-yard line here. C.J. Stroud and the Texans are forced to go for it, and he throws to Dalton Schultz in the right corner of the end zone for a touchdown. This one puts the Texans on top, 28-22, as they were unable to kick the field goal as Fairbairn is still hurt. They go for 2 here to make it a 7-point ball game. So, C.J. Stroud fakes the handoff, takes it himself, and goes into the end zone. 2-point conversion, good. So, and they're unable to kick a field goal to go up. They were down by 1. It was 23-22. They're unable to kick a field goal to go up by 2 there. They're forced to go for it on 4th and goal from the 9. C.J. Stroud makes a great throw to Dalton Schultz to get into the end zone to score, to go up by 5 points, 28-23. They go for 2 to make it a 7-point ball game, 30-28. So even though they had no kicker, K.M. Fairbairn is hurt, C.J. Stroud does what he does and puts the Houston Texans up 7 points with about 13 minutes left to go in the ball game. Next, Buccaneers possession. First down from the 45-yard line of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield fakes the handoff, drops back, and throws a deep ball down the left sideline for Mike Evans, who makes the catch at the 2-yard line and rolls into the end zone for the touchdown. But they review it, and they find out that he was short. He was touched at the 1-yard line. Still a great play by Mike Evans. Great connection, as you can see right there. He's touched down at the 1. So, 2nd and goal. Baker Mayfield hands to Rachaad White. His 2nd rushing touchdown of the day ties up the ball game at 30. What a game we have going on here. Just under 12 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Tie ball game, 30-30. Rachaad White ties it up. 2nd rushing touchdown of the day. So, Texans get the ball back. They're driving. Just across midfield here, 1st and 10. C.J. Stroud's going to hand to Devin Singletary, who cuts left. He's going to lateral it back to C.J. Stroud, who catches and runs for a 1st down. So a little bit of ad-lib there mid-play. Looked like Devin Singletary just made a cutback run, nice run, and was like, he's right there. Might as well just toss it back to my quarterback. He's got some space. He takes it for an extra 10 yards and runs for the 1st down. So pretty interesting play there. Later in the drive, the Texans get inside the 5-yard line. Inside the 15-yard line, 3rd and goal from the 11. C.J. Stroud forced out of the pocket, rolling to his right, throws to the end zone, and it is broken up. Dalton Schultz is unable to come with that one, but now we have our play of the day. In the 30-30 game, 8 minutes and 48 seconds left, Dare Ogunbowale, because they're tired of going for 2, they're tired of going for it every time on 4th and goal, 4th down. Dare Ogunbowale comes out and nails a 29-yard field goal. The emergency kicker, backup running back, comes in and saves the day for the Houston Texans, puts them up by 3 with just 8 minutes and 45 seconds to go left in the game. And I was watching Red Zone when this happened, and they showed the running back make this kick, unbelievable stuff, and Scott Hansen was trying to find, they said that they were unable to find in their stats a time in NFL history where an emergency kicker, a.k.a. someone who's not an actual kicker, a running back, anyone, a receiver. Like, the last time this happened was like Chad Ochocinco when he was on the Bengals, when he kicked an extra point. Like, Wes Welker did it too for the Dolphins. Like, I don't even know when the last time this happened was. Hasn't happened ever in a win. So, he puts them up 33-30 with 8 minutes and 45 seconds to go. Probably the most pressure kick in the history of the NFL by an emergency kicker. Someone who's not an actual kicker. Unbelievable stuff from Dare Ogunbowale. Clutch, clutch, clutch. So jumping ahead now, Buccaneers need to at least get a field goal to keep this game alive. Ensuing possession, they work the ball all the way to the 41-yard line of the Houston Texans. They are going 4th and 2. Here's the game here, 1:15 left, 4th and 2 for the Buccaneers on the 41 of Houston. Baker takes the snap, pump fakes right, looks left. He's scrambling around. He's under pressure. He's going to run now. He takes off left and dives for the first down. So an unbelievable gritty, I'm not letting myself fail, Baker Mayfield type of play gets them a first down on fourth down. Just 2 plays later, 2nd and 3, Baker finds Trey Palmer across the middle who fumbles, but the ball bounces right up to Mike Evans, and he makes an unbelievably clutch play for this Tampa Bay Bucs offense. Keeps the ball alive for them as they almost lose it. Next play, 1st down and 10 from the 15. Cade Otton open in the end zone. Baker Mayfield finds him for the touchdown. 46 seconds left. The Bucs go on top. What a throw by Baker. What a drive to lead them all the way down the field and get a touchdown with 46 seconds left to go in the ball game. 37-33. CJ Stroud's got 46 seconds left to go in the game. And after a couple dunks across the middle of the field to get into Tampa Bay Buccaneers territory, there's just 16 seconds left when CJ Stroud spikes the ball. So 16 seconds left, 2nd and 10 from the 41-yard line of Tampa Bay. CJ Stroud throws one deep down the left side for Tank Dell, who makes the catch. Drags the toes, keeps him in bounds. 10 seconds left. The Houston Texans are all the way down to the 15-yard line. Unbelievable drive by CJ Stroud. 1st down and 10 from the 15-yard line. And that pass put CJ Stroud at 455 passing yards on the day. A single-game rookie record. Sets the NFL record for passing yards in a single game by a rookie. Passes Andrew Luck when he had 433 yards back in 2012. Unbelievable game from CJ Stroud. Clutch plays, clutch performance, and on this last drive to set up this play, breaks the NFL record for rookie passing yards in a game. So 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line, 10 seconds to go, play clock running down. CJ Stroud takes the snap, looks left, fires right. Tank Dell got it for a touchdown. His 2nd receiving touchdown of the day. CJ Stroud's 5th passing touchdown of the afternoon. Unbelievable day for him. 370 yards passing on the day, 5 touchdowns, and capped off by this game winner with 6 seconds to go in the ball game. 46 seconds left to go on their own 25. CJ Stroud brings them all the way down the field. Game-winning touchdown with 6 seconds left to Tank Dell. Unbelievable stuff. This is probably the greatest performance in the history of the NFL by a rookie quarterback, bar none. Unbelievable day from CJ Stroud. Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me? This guy is the real deal. The real deal. 470 yards passing, the most ever in the NFL by a rookie quarterback, and 5 touchdowns in a game-winning drive. Touchdown pass with 6 seconds to go in the ballgame. Unreal. Unreal. That's the game of the week. That might be the game of the year. That 4th quarter was the most chaotic time I've ever seen. That was happening simultaneously as the Minnesota-Atlanta game was going on. And oh my God, Red Zone was going nuts. That was the game of the year so far. CJ Stroud has been impressing me so much over the course of this season. It's insane. I thought that he was going to be the best one coming out of the draft, but this is way beyond anything I could have possibly imagined. Alrighty, so now that we're past that unbelievable game, ridiculousness of a game, we're going to move into the NFL standings update. And this time we're going to have a wild card update because now we're halfway through. The wild card and all that's supposed to start to matter. All right, so we'll start off in the AFC East, and it's a tough week for the AFC East, if we're going to be honest. The Miami Dolphins, they fall to 6-3. They lose to the Kansas City Chiefs in Frankfurt, Germany. The NFL's first ever game in Frankfurt, Germany results in a loss for the Miami Dolphins. Not the way that they wanted to get it going. All 3 of their losses are against teams with a winning record, and all 6 of their wins are against teams with a losing record. So you know that that's going to be the narrative for this Dolphins team. Very weird game. They still are atop the AFC East. As we'll talk about, the Bills lost on Sunday Night Football. The Dolphins hold the 4 seed in the AFC, which is, they were arguably the best team in football going a couple weeks ago, and now they're the last division winner in the AFC right now. Pretty weird to see. That was a weird game. The Kansas City Chiefs defense shut them down in the first half. 21-0 Kansas City, and at the end of the first half, they threw a screen to Tyreek, fumbled, picked up by a Chiefs defender who lateraled it to another defender who ran for another 50 yards for a touchdown. Wild play. But they hold the division title, 4 seed in the AFC as of week 9. The New York Jets are 4-3. They play on Monday Night Football later tonight against the Los Angeles Chargers. And we'll see if they're going to be able to scratch out a win, because this would be a big game for them, as the Dolphins and the Bills are kind of struggling right now. And if they can go to 5-3, that would be huge for them. The Buffalo Bills, talked about them. They lost on Sunday night to the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati, and they fall to 5-4. They had three losses all of last season. So it's week 9, and they already passed their loss total from last season, 5-4. So Josh Allen has not looked as sharp as he has. The defense is very banged up. It's not the same defense we're used to. So they're going to really have to bear down if they're going to get something going. They're behind the Jets right now. If the Jets win tonight, they're not looking good. And the New England Patriots, they're 2-7. They lost a close game to Washington. Mac Jones threw a pick late in the ball game to seal the deal for the Washington Commanders. And as of right now, the New England Patriots are the worst team in the AFC, which is just unbelievable to think about. Jumping over to the NFC East, the Philadelphia Eagles, the NFL's best team at the moment, best record in the NFL. They're 8-1. They beat the Dallas Cowboys. I talked about that a little bit in our weekly recap. They played Dallas. They're the 1 seed in the NFC, the 1 seed in football right now. They played Dallas pretty well. Jalen Hurts got banged up early in that game, but he was able to come back. He threw a nice touchdown pass to Devontae Smith. He ran one in on a tush push, and the Eagles' defense was able to hold down the game at the end. Talk about the Cowboys. They fall to 5-3, and they are the 6th seed in the NFC right now. They hold that second-to-last wild card spot. But the Cowboys look weird. They had a lot of opportunities to win this game. They really did. They threw a touchdown on 4th and goal that ended up getting called back as it was this short. Dak was rolling for a 2-point conversion late in the ball game to make it a 3-point game. Looked live that he got and dove to the pylon, but the replay showed that he stepped out of bounds, so the play was called back. They ended up losing by 5, and after getting really gifted 80 yards in penalties on the last drive of the game to get all the way to the 5-yard line, they shoot themselves right back in the foot, get a couple penalties of their own, move themselves back to the 20, and fall short by about 2 yards as CeeDee Lamb caught that ball at the 2-yard line. Tough game for the Cowboys. They fall to 5-3. The Washington Commanders, talked about them. They just beat the New England Patriots in Foxborough. They go to 4-5. And the New York Giants, they lost to the Raiders. They're 2-7 now. Raiders looked great, but we're going to talk about that when we get to the AFC West part of this. We'll jump to the AFC North, and this might be the most interesting division in all of football right now. Every team in this division right now, the AFC North, is at least 2 games over 500. The team leading it, the Baltimore Ravens, they are 7-2. They just beat the Seattle Seahawks. They are the 2 seed in the AFC, right behind the Kansas City Chiefs. They have been looking really good. They played Detroit a couple weeks ago. That was supposed to be a shootout. They killed them. They just played Seattle, who looks pretty good recently. Killed them. They look very good. Lamar Jackson looks good. Mark Andrews looks good. That defense is looking pretty good too. The Pittsburgh Steelers. This offense is still kind of sputtering. Doesn't look very great on offense, but the defense just hangs around and gets them in every single game. The first 3 quarters of every single Steelers game is just like the sloppiest football you'll ever see. And the 4th quarter, the Steelers are able to win by 1 or 2 points every time. They're the second worst points per game in the league. The Pittsburgh Steelers, 5-3 overall record. They just beat Tennessee on Thursday night. Will Levis was unable to repeat his first career start. Nowhere near the amount of success that he had last week against who was it? Was it Atlanta? I believe it was Atlanta. But the Steelers defense, that's not how it works. They are the 5 seed in the AFC right now. The Cleveland Browns, they're also 5-3. They beat Arizona. They are the 6th seed in the AFC right now. And the Bengals are 5-3. They just beat Buffalo last night. We talked about that a little bit. And they're the 7th seed in the AFC. So all 4 of these teams right now are in the playoffs if it started today. Pretty interesting stuff. The Bengals looking more like the Bengals like we saw. Joe Burrow clearly was hobbled, could not move the way that we've used to see Joe Burrow move in the first weeks of the season. He looks to be fully healthy now, making his typical Joe Burrow-esque plays. Good to see that, as this division race is seeming to be very, very interesting as we get to the later weeks of the season. The NFC North, the Detroit Lions, they had a bye this week. They're still at 6-2. They killed my Raiders in Vegas last week. At Ford Field last week. We got smoked. That was a terrible game. They are the 2 seed in the NFC right now. And the Minnesota Vikings. Okay, we got to talk about this Minnesota Vikings team. They just beat the Atlanta Falcons in an unbelievable game. They're 5-4 now. They're over 500. They're the 7th seed in the NFC. Right now, they would be in the playoffs if the playoffs started. And this team has been getting so unbelievably unlucky. Nothing has gone their way this entire season. They started off the season losing every single fumble on the entire face of the earth. Every time a ball hit the ground, it was a turnover, no matter what. Kirk Cousins was playing unbelievable, but they couldn't get a win. They were losing the games that they were winning last year, the one-score games. Kirk Cousins tears his Achilles. Season's over, right? No. Rookie quarterback comes in, gets hurt early. Josh Dobbs, who comes in basically on like Monday or Tuesday, earlier in the week, has no idea who his teammates are, has no idea who's snapping him the ball, no idea who he's throwing the ball to, no idea what the playbook is. He probably has no idea where Minnesota is. He doesn't even know where his house is, probably. He doesn't know where he's sleeping. He comes in, right, after the rookie quarterback that the Vikings had. I apologize, I forget his name. Josh Dobbs comes in. Struggled early, had a safety early on in the game, had a fumble that led to almost a touchdown for a defensive score. But after that, he turned some sort of switch, and they went on a ridiculous run. He scored a wild touchdown, about a 20-yard scramble where he pump faked and ran by a defensive end, scored a touchdown, and then brought the Vikings all the way back into this game and led an unbelievable last-second drive and threw a touchdown pass to Brandon Powell with about 25 seconds left to go in the game to give the Minnesota Vikings a comeback win in his first ever game with the organization that he didn't even start the game. And he didn't know the playbook. And Kevin O'Connell, like I mentioned earlier, said that he was breaking down plays and telling him how to run the playbook mid-play, mid-huddle, as the play clock's winding down. Unbelievable game from Josh Dobbs, and I respect that guy so much more now. I always did. Like, he's a good player. He's got alopecia, but oh my goodness, like Josh Dobbs, you are unbelievable. That was crazy. The Packers, they are 3-5. They're not that great. They just beat the Los Angeles Rams, though. Solid game for them. The Bears, they lost to the New Orleans Saints in the Superdome. They fall to 2-7. We'll jump over to the AFC North. AFC South. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they had a bye week this week. They are the 3 seed in the AFC. They sit at 6-2, but like I said, they had a bye week. The Houston Texans, we just talked about them. They beat Tampa Bay in arguably the game of the year. C.J. Stroud just broke the NFL rookie record for passing yards in a game with 470 yards. He also threw for 5 touchdowns in the game, including that one we saw earlier, game winner to win the ball game with 6 seconds left on the clock to Tank Dell. Unbelievable game by C.J. Stroud. And nothing phases this guy, man. He is so poised. He's so calm, so cool, so collected in that pocket. It looks like he's just sitting there, flipped up, 30 yards, 15 yards, Tank Dell touchdown. Like, this guy is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And the Panthers might be shooting themselves in the foot right now. We'll get to that. But C.J. Stroud breaks the NFL rookie record for the most passing yards in a game with 470, 5 touchdowns on the day, and a game winner with 6 seconds left. Brings the Houston Texans to 4-4. Bounced back from that bad loss last week to the Panthers. The Indianapolis Colts, they beat the Carolina Panthers. Speaking of them, they go to 4-5. And Bryce Young. Oh, I'm looking it up. Threw 2 picks. 2 pick sixes. 2. Kenny Moore Jr. of the Indianapolis Colts had 2 pick sixes off of C.J. Stroud, leading the Indianapolis Colts to a win, bringing them to 4-5. The Tennessee Titans, like I said, they lost to Pittsburgh on Thursday Night Football. Rookie quarterbacks against the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. That doesn't work out. Was never going to be the case. They go to 3-5. NFC South, the New Orleans Saints beat the Chicago Cubs. I always do that. The Chicago Bears. They are the 4 seed in the NFC right now. They moved to 5-4. The Atlanta Falcons lost that heartbreaker to the Minnesota Vikings. They fall to 4-5. The Buccaneers lost a heartbreaker to Houston. They fall to 3-5. And the Panthers lose to Indianapolis. Bryce Young throwing those 2 pick sixes to Kenny Moore Jr. They fall to 1-7. Tough year for the Carolina Panthers. Now we'll move on to the AFC West. So, the Kansas City Chiefs, they beat the Miami Dolphins in Germany. They are the 1 seed in the AFC. They're the only team in the AFC that has 7 wins at the moment. What else is there to say about them? Nothing really. As of right now, the Las Vegas Raiders, they are 4-5, 2nd seed in the AFC West. pending on what happens tonight between the Los Angeles Chargers and the New York Jets in East Rutherford, New Jersey. But the Oakland Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, whatever, Antonio Pierce comes in. The Josh McDaniels Patriot West regime for the Las Vegas Raiders is over. This week, Mark Davis fired Josh McDaniels, Dave Ziegler, the offensive coordinator, and Jimmy Garoppolo got benched. So an entire new offensive and really organizational thing for the Raiders. New head coach Antonio Pierce comes in. He's from Compline. He's been a Raiders fan his entire life. He was a linebacker for the New York Giants, coincidentally, who played for that team that beat the perfect New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. So this new coaching regime brought a whole new aura to this team. The Raiders looked like they were bouncing off the wall. Everything looked great. When was the last time the Raiders had a blowout win? The Raiders aren't very good right now, right? We just won that game 30-6. 30-6. Everything about the game was different. Everything. The way that people looked like they were having fun. The running game was good. The line looked great. Josh Jacobs had a great day. Should have had 100 yards, but he got stuffed for -3 on his last carry of the game to put him at 98. But unbelievable day for the whole team. And after it, everyone looks fired up. They go into the locker room. They're smoking cigars. Max Crosby's giving hugs to Mark Davis. It's a different team. I think it's clear, and you can clearly tell, that all those guys hated Josh McDaniels. No one liked to play for him. He created a bad environment for this team. Everyone was walking on eggshells. They've been talking about it all week. Their buttholes were tight. Everyone's sitting there like, oh my God, what are we doing? I'm not having any fun. We're going to work. Like they're like everyone else, going to work, dreading their jobs. You can't do that. You got to go and have fun. You got to have an identity, have a passion, and you got to have a way of going about things as an organization. And it looks like Antonio Pierce is able to get that out there. He's able to. And I was just so impressed by that. By seeing the Raiders locker room after that win was just unbelievable, because I haven't seen the Raiders look like that. Look like they won a playoff game. They were partying like they just won a playoff game. And sure, they just beat the New York Giants. I'm not expecting the whole season to turn around, but it's good to see that they're having fun and they're not just wanting to like go through the motions and just get smoked every Sunday. So maybe this is some needed change, and maybe it'll do anything. Los Angeles Chargers, they're 3-4. They're playing the Jets tonight on Monday Night Football. They have a chance to jump ahead of us if they get a win tonight. The Denver Broncos were on a bye. They're 3-5. NFC West. So the 49ers, like we talked about, they're on a bye. They were active at the trade deadline. They got Chase Young. That's going to be interesting. Chase Young and Nick Bosa, opposite sides from each other. That's going to be crazy. They didn't play this week, but they regained their top spot in the division. They're 5-3. They had a bye. They're the 3 seed in the NFC because the Seahawks lost to Baltimore. Now they're the 5 seed. Baltimore has been smoking good teams, like I said before. They just beat Seattle by a lot. Seattle did not look very good. And why is Seattle not giving the ball to Kenneth Walker? What happened to Kenneth Walker? Kenneth Walker was like, in my opinion, top 5, top 8 running back in the league for the first 6 weeks of the year. He's getting 6 carries a game now for the past 3 weeks. What are we doing, Pete? I don't understand what's going on. 2 losses in a row for Seattle, not looking great. The Los Angeles Rams, they lost to Green Bay. They fall to 3-6. No Matthew Stafford this week. Unfortunate for the offense. Cooper Kupp had another rough week. The Arizona Cardinals, they lost to Cleveland. They lost 27-0. Very unfortunate game for them. Cleveland's defense really bottled them up, and really there's nothing else to say about them. And that's going to wrap up this week, week 9 of the NFL season. We'll check back in after Monday Night Football between the Los Angeles Chargers and the New York Jets. But till then, peace out, Joderman. Alrighty, so the Monday night game has concluded. Chargers defeated the New York Jets in MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And let's be honest, not the most exciting of Monday Night Football games. The Jets offense really couldn't get it going. And honestly, the Chargers offense didn't look great either. Zach Wilson didn't have a good game, but if you look at the numbers, he outplayed Justin Herbert. And that's really because the first touchdown of the game was a punt return touchdown by the Chargers, and then 2 turnovers from the Jets inside of their own territory. Left a short field for the Chargers, right down to for them. So Justin Herbert really didn't have to do much. Just didn't turn the ball over, didn't do too much wrong. Jets defense is still very good, so they kind of made it a game for 3.5 quarters until Zach Wilson really made it inevitable that they weren't going to be able to pull that game out. But, I mean, pretty sloppy Monday night game. Jets offense, like I said, could not do anything. And Chargers offense, I mean, didn't do much either. But both defenses went to work, and the Chargers special teams were able to pull it out. Dicker, the kicker, nailed a 55-yarder in the first half. He did really well. And that Chargers D-line absolutely harassed Zach Wilson. Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa just absolutely destroyed him. So Week 9 officially over, and with that, the Los Angeles Chargers jump into second place in the AFC West, and my Oakland Raiders move down to third place. Tough stuff, but I wasn't really expecting too much, even though we had a good week with the new head coach, Antonio Pierce. Hopefully we can keep the momentum building, but like I said, Chargers defeated the New York Jets 27-6, I believe, on Monday Night Football. Austin Eckler 2 touchdowns. They had a punt return touchdown. Zach Wilson and the Jets offense, no offensive touchdowns on the day, 2 field goals, that was it. Pretty uneventful Monday night game. That's Week 9 for you. We'll see you next week for Week 10, officially halfway through the NFL season now. All games are over, and if you want to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all that, at Bobby Valentine Sports Show. And if you have anything that you have questions about for the Bobby Valentine Sports Academy, head up bvacademy.com for anything you might need. All right, we'll see you in Week 10. Peace out.